So in the last couple of videos, we've looked at product differentiation, horizontally and vertically. And one of the things I found most fascinating about product differentiation is how the degree of product differentiation interacts with the prices that we can charge and with the price cost margins that we can achieve. So in essence, the more differentiated you are, the higher price cost margins and therefore the higher profitability is. And so in this video, we're going to look at pricing and product decisions and see how they interact and take these as starting points for what's called the generic strategies by Michael Porter. At Harvard Business School, he identified 3 generic strategies that can be used to create a defendable position and outperform competitors in a specific industry. Of course, these strategies will require different organizational arrangements, they will require different control procedures, incentive systems, and of course you need different resources for them. And we're going to dive a bit deeper into those to see what's actually needed and why they can be successful. So the first strategy we're going to look at is the cost leadership strategy. And I guess the name sort of says it already, but the idea is that you're achieving low cost compared to your competitors, and that's the main thrust of the strategy. There are central elements of this strategy that we can think of. For example, you have to achieve a certain scale. So you have to achieve enough scale or a high enough scale so that you are efficient, that you achieve the minimum cost possible for producing this product. You have to try to use the experience from producing the good to lower cost even further. So rigorous cost reductions that arise from experience. You want to avoid consumers that don't make you money or that don't make you a lot of money. In other words, if there are consumers that are expensive to acquire and that are not going to end up buying a lot of quantity from you, you don't want them. Okay, so you avoid marginal consumer accounts. You want to minimize costs in areas that basically contribute to overhead and not to the main production of the product. So areas like R&D, service, sales force, advertising are all things that you can try to save money or that you would try to save money if you follow a cost leadership strategy. And you combine this cost leadership strategy with aggressive pricing. So you can actually achieve the market share to get efficient scale facilities, to acquire enough experience to reduce costs even further and so on. So again, we see that your product strategy is closely related to the pricing strategy in the cost leadership generic strategy. Almost the polar opposite of a cost leadership strategy is the differentiation mode of competition. So here you're differentiating your product or service and you offer something that consumers and the industry perceives as unique in the industry. So we can think of several different forms of product differentiation or of a differentiation strategy. Of course, that's something that we already saw in previous videos, but achieving or designing your product in a special way, having a unique design, having a very valuable brand is one way of differentiating your product, because that means you can also charge a premium over and above your cost. Technology, simply having the highest or the high-end technology, having the best technology around is another way of differentiating your product to other competitors. Offering superior customer service is another way of differentiation. In other words, if your customers are served, if they're taken care of much better than for competitors, then they're willing to pay a premium for that too. Having a widespread dealer network or having a very efficient dealer network is another way of product differentiation here. So dealer networks basically mean reducing the transport cost. So if consumers will not have to travel very far, then that's going to be something that they're willing to pay a premium for as well. Of course, product differentiation often does not take place in just one dimension. It takes place along multiple dimensions. And it's often incompatible with charging low prices or with achieving high market shares. In other words, consumers might actually place a value on the exclusivity that they have by buying one particular product. Now, a third strategy tries to combine the best of these both worlds, of cost leadership and of differentiation. And we call this the focus strategy. Here we focus on one particular buyer group or segment or product line or geographic market, simply by focusing on that one and ignoring the rest of the market. Why? How can that be efficient? Well, it can be efficient if you serve that narrow strategic group more effectively or more efficiently than other competitors. So you're simply taking one part of the market, you're going to say, these are my consumers, and these consumers are the ones that I'm going to serve in the optimal way possible. So within that niche, you can achieve lower cost, or you can achieve more differentiation with regard to that particular niche. Okay? You're not trying to serve the entire market, but just focus on one market segment, and within that market segment, you can again choose either cost leadership or product differentiation. So in this video, we've looked at 3 generic strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. And we saw that all 3 are strategies for sustaining profitability, for making profits and outperforming your competitors. Of course, these were very generic, very stark strategies. And in the next video, we're going to look at possibilities of combining the two and actually look at some more nuances of that. So stay tuned.